We often talk about politics, but what exactly does that mean? Well, according to Aristotle, it has a very specific meaning, and it's one that we would all benefit from understanding. So Aristotle says that we, as human beings, are political animals. What does that mean? Well, it means we're animals, like other animals, but we have basically a distinct possibility, which is to be political. Well, other animals have different kinds of social groupings. They have family groups, or they have, herds, perhaps that are run by a dominant male or something like that. But human beings have a different possibility. We have the possibility of getting together and collectively reflecting on what we take to be the good for our community and then acting on it. And that's the thing that makes a uniquely political community. And Aristotle says that political community is what completes us or fulfills us in our humanity. So human beings, we're both individual and we're social. We're individual in the sense that we think for ourselves and make decisions for ourselves and so on. And that side of ourselves has to be cultivated and developed. We looked at that last week when we talked about moral virtue and so on. But we're also social beings. We depend on our involvements with other people. And that side of our existence also has to be cultivated and developed. The political community is that side of our life where we take basically collective self-responsibility for our existence as a we, not just as individual I's. And for that to happen, individual people have to carry out that thinking about what's the good of the community, but they have to do it as representatives of that we. So the thing that makes for the uniquely political domain and the thing that makes for our unique fulfillment as human beings is that we can come together with other people and put aside our primarily self-interested views, put aside our views about what's good for me or what's good for my family, and actually take seriously what's good for the community as a whole. We can get together and we can collectively make decisions then about that. And that is the unique sphere of political life. So the political sphere is the domain where people come together as representatives of the whole for the sake of the whole. I want to say two things about that. I want to say something about government and something about us as citizens. So the first thing is, we often think of politics as meaning whatever's going on in government. And you should recognize that what's going on there isn't really properly called politics if it is not people who are there committed to serving the good of the community. People can be elected, but when they get there, they can use the fact that they're in that position to pursue their self-interested goals. In that case, it's not politics anymore. It's just theft. It's just taking over a vulnerable human situation and exploiting it for your own good. So we sometimes think of that as politics, but properly speaking, it's not. It's human behavior that has fallen below the level of the political and is just corrupt exploitation. So real government only happens when you have people who are actually trying to determine what is good for the community. Second thing is not just about governments, but about you as a member of the community. Politics isn't just for those elected representatives. Politics is about what it takes for you to live as a member of that political community. Politics is a value that has to be alive in your behavior all the time, right? It is the value of caring for the community. So in your ongoing behavior, you need to be both, of course, taking care of yourself, but also be thinking about how that fits within the demands upon you to take care of this community as a whole. Aristotle says the virtue of the citizen, or the ability you have to develop to actually be a political being and to fulfill your political existence as a citizen, is to learn to rule and be ruled in turn. And basically what that means is you have to learn to live according to the rules. You have to be someone who can be ruled, who can say, yep, it's up to me to live in a way that I'm required to live by the demands of the community. It's also up to you to know how to rule. That is, it's up to you not just to be a passive member who rolls along, but someone who actually recognizes that value, recognizes those issues, and takes responsibility for determining on your own what really should be happening. And so the role of citizen is actually quite a demanding one, but it's also how we both fulfill our own lives and fulfill the lives of others in our social world, right? It's by learning both to be responsible to do what we have to do and to take responsibility for determining what has to be done. And so your role as a citizen doesn't just mean that you're going to be political if you happen to be elected as a representative in government. Your role as a citizen means it's up to you to be political in all your ongoing daily behavior, right? The fact that we're human beings, the fact that we're political animals means it really is incumbent upon us to always live in light of what the needs of the community are and to maintain that as a fundamental value that we live by.